Hey, it's the Fort Worth Playboy.
And my Playboys Bunny.
Welcome to our podcast where we discuss pickup, game, relationships, and
Sex.
And today we talk about a super popular subject. I mean, we get questions, it's discussed a lot, and it's that men should date younger.
Yeah.
And it's something that we recommend and that we're going to give reasons for it today.
Yeah.
And what would you say, the times that it's not being utilized are the times that it actually should be utilized most of all. And so we'll get into it. But the bottom line is men should date younger. And then, of course, your next question, because if you're 21, your question will be different than if you're 51.
Yes.
Is how much younger.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. You go ahead, buddy. You can start off with guys in their 20s, how they should look at it.
So the bottom line is men should always date younger. Somewhat younger for 20s, way younger for 80s. I mean, like, there's a big swing there. So if you're in your 20s, like you're saying, I think 2 to 5 years, maybe. Caveat being, we're not encouraging you to date and get into jail over this. Make sure she's 18 or older. But the bottom line is, all girls find older men to some degree more appealing than men their own age. They're more exciting. They likely have more stability. They have more future lined out. Women of every age can visualize or imagine more of a future life of someone who's already got their shit together.
Exactly.
And we just don't find men who are our own age as having their shit together. No, and I think that goes across the board.
And it doesn't end, and we'll talk about that a little bit further in the podcast.
Yeah, you have a really good point about this.
So Rivellino he gave a nice little chart that men, and we're going to start at 27 to 30 should date girls that are 20.
Yeah.
In that range. Men 32 to 37, 25. 37 to 42, girls that are 30. So you're looking at that 7 to 10, 12 year spread. Yeah. Men that are 45 to 50, girls that are 35. Men who are 50 to 55 date women that are 40. And I was 49.
You were 50
already,
already, and I was 39.
Exactly.
There's 11 years between us.
I was not too keen on dating anybody 40 at that time.
Right.
You know, that was just kind of my rule.
Well, we always say date 10 years younger.
Yeah.
And
or more.
And then we get, or more. But then we get pushback from like the 20-year-olds or the autists who are like, but that would be I'm like,
we don't care about
listen,
that. No.
Listen, just
use
everything's relative here, people.
And then men 57 to 62 should date 45 and up.
Yeah.
And we have contact because we're an adult world.
Yes.
If a girl is like 65, she should be dating a guy 75 or 80.
Yes, absolutely.
Men, once they hit that like 60, 70, 80, that 15 to 20 year spread is a good spread.
It's a good spread.
Because if he's highly energetic, it'll take a girl that much younger to keep up with him.
Well, and it's great too because then, even at 65 years old, the girl still gets to be like
arm candy.
Yeah. She gets to be like the trophy wife, the younger woman. And that's where, like, we have one client in particular right now. She's 63. He's 80. They've never been happier. She's 3 years different from his oldest child. It's a winning combination.
And again, these things, this is universal too.
Yeah.
Because if you tell a girl that's 25 or 23, let's say, and you go, you should probably maybe look for a guy who's like 35. She'd be like, I don't want somebody that's that old.
Yeah.
And then
that seems very old at that point.
A guy that's fit and charismatic and has his shit together, and she's starting to look at her friends who are like going out, getting drunk and getting fat.
Exactly.
And she's like, I'd kind of like to have some stability.
Yeah.
Those 35-year-old guys.
I like going to the nice restaurants and driving nice vehicles.
Yeah, all of a sudden he becomes a potential, catch. So, and that's what, but generally girls will not entertain like that 15 to 20 year spread until the guy's right in front of them.
Yeah.
And then their rules go right out the window.
Well, I mean, I was 24. My husband was 37 when I met him. Yeah. And it was, I mean, I don't think I would have cared what his age was, but it was perfect.
Right.
And you know, we were laughing earlier because literally my oldest stepson was actually closer in age to me than I was to my husband's age.
Yeah.
You know.
And I'm going to go over when I see this rule being violated,
yes,
or they're unaware of it, most often. Because most guys are like 25, go, I'm not dating any 25-year-old girls. They look like hell. I'm going to date a 21-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, they already naturally know. But what happens, I see a lot, is men will say, marry their high school sweetheart or post-college.
Yeah.
They're married for 15 to 20 years. So now he's about 40 to 55, and he goes through a divorce.
Yeah.
And he's out on the apps.
Yeah.
Or meeting her, and he's thinking he has to date somebody his own age.
Yes.
And it's
or his ex-wife's age.
Or his ex-wife's age, who might be like 2 or 3 years younger.
Yeah.
And therefore, what happens is girls are disdainful of men their own age.
Yeah.
And either because they see them as peers, or they just feel that they've had the same experiences, or these are the guys that kind of shit on them, so they have a bad taste in their mouth. But the bottom line is a girl who's 43 will be hateful, super hateful to a guy that's 43, you know?
Okay, so I have to tell on myself. Yeah, I have to tell on myself. So I'm always laughing because, of course, I'm Facebook friends with everybody that I went to high school with and college with, and yeah. And literally every male in my high school class looks like a swollen sausage. Like if you touched them in the belly, they would just, their entire bodies would explode. They're pink, they're swollen.
She becomes violently angry
It's
when she sees a picture of some of these guys that she went to school with.
Yeah.
Because they're in such bad shape.
They're terrible.
It's almost like an insult across the board.
It is.
You know what I mean?
It's like, because you know what they should look like at your age.
Right.
It's your age. You know what they should look like, and they haven't taken care of themselves. You made an important point earlier about girls specifically aging. There's natural aging, and then there's the aging of girls who just don't take care of themselves.
Exactly.
Same thing. Yeah. Same thing. So yeah, I have like a full body ick response. Love these guys that I went to high school with. They look like hell. They haven't taken care of themselves, and they're all about to die.
Think of the phrase "familiarity breeds contempt."
Yeah.
So if women feel that they know you, or you guys have common growing up experiences, she's contemptuous of you. But if you're 40 and a girl's 30, you guys don't have the same common experiences.
Yeah.
There's a different dynamic there. It's not necessarily any a power dynamic, but it's just a maturity and an experience dynamic that's a little bit different.
Well, and you make a good point that whenever a 45-year-old woman is talking to a new 45-year-old man, she's associating him with her 45-year-old ex-husband.
Exactly.
Instead of him being 55, there's a removal there. That's
a good point.
Yeah.
There's a separation of like who she's angry with.
Yeah.
You're in a completely different category. It's unconscious, but it's really there.
It's
because
really
you will see, and this is, for guys that are getting divorced and they're like 40s and 55, they just aren't aware.
Yeah.
They don't have any concept of this, because if they saw anything like, women are invested in guys not dating younger.
They sure are. Women get pissed about suggesting that guys should date younger women.
Exactly. They don't want, that's like a new couple that moves into the neighborhood.
Yeah.
If the wife is a lot younger, they don't get invited.
Yeah.
Because the wives don't want the husbands getting ideas.
Yeah.
They're like,
exactly.
He starts thinking he can replace me. And what's funny is, I remember, after I divorced, and I was out with some girl close to my age, and she mentioned, she goes, yeah, my husband's going out with some college girl. Can you believe it? And I was thinking, That sounds pretty good, right?
And I'm here with I'm
sitting here looking at you.
That's
and I'm
kind of
like,
stupid.
Yeah, exactly. I did. I was like,
who's the idiot now?
That's not too bad of an idea. That sounds pretty good. You know, I mean, literally, it was like where you start thinking of 180 almost immediately. I'm like, I really should start going out with girls that are younger.
Yeah, why am I here with someone my
why
age?
am I doing this? And then after I started dating girls that were like late 30s, it just clicked better.
Exactly.
They laugh more. There's more, what would you say?
Joviality?
Just a lighter
Lightness,
feeling. Yeah. And I wasn't getting the employment interview and people drilling me about the kids and my divorce. And it was more of like, hey, let's go out and have fun.
Yeah.
And I guess it's because of that separation of the age.
I do think there's another aspect of divorcee that the man is just coming out of a stifling divorce. He is pretty fucking beat up. By the time he's ready to start dating, he's kind of got some energy. He feels lighter all of a sudden, like this weight has been lifted. No one's been hounding him as soon as he walks in. All the things that make divorce horrible because people allow their marriages to be horrible, he's out from that. And he's ready to start dating. So he's got the energy of someone who's 10 or 15 years younger.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to date someone his own age or only a couple of years younger is a drag.
Yeah.
She's not coming with that energy. She's coming with the 80-year-old woman energy, even if she's 45. Where if she dates 10 to 15 years younger, she's got the energy to match his.
It matches.
Everybody wins here.
Yeah.
I mean, you say all the time, like, that my energy is unnatural, but I think it's because I'm in my 40s, you're in your 50s,
It's true, and it matches up. And she's absolutely right about women being much more hostile.
Yeah.
Because you remind her of her husband. It's a really bad thing. You have no idea how common that is. That if he was your age, she's going to like associate.
Yeah.
You don't.
Well, there are shared experiences. You were in the same kind of places at the same kind of time.
Might have been going to the same college.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good.
The fewer similarities I would say that you could have to the ex, the better. So age is a great place to start.
And so that is the classic biggest time that I see men not dating younger. Because I think most guys are more aware now, like guys in their, like, let's say highly successful guys that 30 to 40 that have never been married with no kids. Most guys are pretty savvy nowadays that they can date 20 to 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. With that age split, it's mostly finding girls that are actually mature and
then it becomes more of a maturity
you're looking for
thing.
Traditional, because a lot just want to party at that time.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. But guys that are 30, they're like, I think a 24-year-old wife would be great. So that's what it works.
Oh, my ex got all kinds of shit because I was 24.
Yeah.
And he was 37.
Exactly. Mostly it's envy. And because I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it because once you pass 40, if you're dating girls or your girlfriend's 10 years or more younger.
Yeah.
And you're talking to women your own age and your girlfriend comes up. They pick up on it.
Oh my goodness.
They won't even look at her.
I get side eyes a lot.
Yeah, you get side eyes.
Or just won't acknowledge me at all.
No, they won't even acknowledge that you're standing there. It's the most bizarre. You're like, we're not in high school, but they. And again, sometimes it's because her husband or ex-husband ran off with like a younger woman. So there's all kinds of
there's all kinds of head trash
we're not involved, but you kind of like take the beating for it. But you can know there's going to be pushback, but don't just let it roll off your back.
Yeah.
Because what's most important is that you're happy and
having fun.
And
what do you have in common? Well, we both like to fuck.
Exactly. That's the classic answer. Because I get that. What could they possibly have in common? Well, they both like to fuck.
Yeah.
It's
great.
They both love to fuck. And they don't ask you any more questions. It works.
And truly, in almost every example of this that we've ever come across in all of our discussions, the people surrounding the couple who is this demo, they're jealous.
Yeah.
They're envious. They're like, I want what they have. You know, I mean,
good energy.
How do I get that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is a great place to start, is this kind of age difference.
Yeah. Usually about 10-year spread.
Yeah.
Plus as you get older.
Yeah.
You know, you can
minus as you're younger.
Yeah, exactly. But that is it's a good dynamic. I mean, and most of the girls, you know, when we talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
The girls that are like in their 30s now will say, you know, how old were you? And almost all of them are like, yeah, my husband's like, he's older. He's like 10 years older.
Yeah.
And well, when did you meet him? Oh, I was like 23.
Yeah.
You know, they've been married, they've had kids, you know, they feel good.
Yeah.
You know.
It's perfect.
You usually do see a very high quality of life.
Yeah.
And a quality relationship.
Yeah.
You know, because the girl's high energy, she's ready to have kids, but they're also financially stable.
Sure,
you know.
because a guy who is 35, let's say, with a 22-year-old, you know, girlfriend, wife that he's marrying or whatever,
Yeah.
they start a family and all this stuff. She's still young enough to have strong, healthy children, a great, easy pregnancy, all of the benefits of being young and
A mom.
Yeah. Where he is a little bit older, more established. He's got his education under him. He's got his career set. He's doing well. So it truly is the best of both worlds.
It's a stable outcome.
Yeah.
You know. And
yeah.
That's just what we've seen with our tens, if not hundreds of thousands of interactions with
Seriously.
people. You know, just look for that 10-year spread. Work from there.
Yeah.
And do look younger. And just so you know, when it comes to women, and I mean across the board, 20% are not going to date older, period. They have no interest.
They think they're above it?
They think they just aren't interested. They just like guys their own age.
Or younger.
You know, or younger, exactly, for whatever reason. 60% are undecided.
Yeah.
They may not have dated a guy 10, 15 years older than them, but they're open to suggestion.
Yeah.
In the right situation, I would say right environment, right timing, right guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, I've never dated anybody. No, I'd give it a shot.
Yeah.
You know, and then 20% are girls that they just like older men.
Me. Yeah.
Straight off. Exactly. Across the board. They've dated older since they were in high school or college. They've married older, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
You know, but the 60%, depending on your game,
mm-hmm.
your charisma, you know what you're bringing to the table, you know what you present, girls will give it a shot. And one of the keys is just don't bring up the age thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the game.
And that's something that I talk about in my newsletter quite a bit, is if there's, the bigger the age gap, the less you talk about it.
Exactly.
Because you've got a matched energy. So there's no reason to be like, I mean, it comes off as like, and when I was in Nam, I was, I mean, it really does come across as like you are ancient.
Yeah.
If you're talking about a band from your high school days and she's comparing it to her high school days or where she was at that, it's little things that make you sound old in a negative way.
In fact, there's probably like 8 or 10 tips for dating younger.
Yeah.
That would be a podcast of its own.
Sure, that's a good
but
idea.
The key is, if you're wondering where do I start, you never bring it up.
Just don't, yeah.
Yeah, you just approach
don't
them.
Don't tease about it.
Nope. Don't joke about it.
Yeah, don't ask where they were when Kennedy was shot. Like, don't do any of those things.
No. There's nuances, but you know, read up on it, and we'll do a podcast on like the 8 or 10 things to not do.
Yeah.
That's mostly important. You just run game like you'd run it on somebody you've already ran it on, or somebody your own age.
Yeah.
It doesn't change.
No.
You know, and they like that charisma coming from a gentleman who's more established. There's no downside.
No.
You just avoid it because it's awkward and it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know?
Because the best thing is to match energies.
Yeah. And that's the bottom line.
If you like this podcast, like, subscribe, share, and please subscribe to our newsletters. We have a lot of fun there, and we share a lot of good information. because we want you to win.
You say because we like to date younger. Well, I was like, where are we going with this?
Where are we going with this? We want you to win. Bye!